for clients of ours, but we've decided to put it up on YouTube just in case there are people just like me a few years ago don't know what they're getting into when they get into WordPress for the first time. To start with, you'll need a site, and obviously you've set that up by now, or you've had someone preferably set it up for you properly. Assuming that's the case, you should be able to type in something like your company name, and you should find that you're listed fairly high up in the listings if everything's been done properly. Now this may take 6 to 12 months, but it should eventually get there. You can see in our case we've got 2,030,000 search results, and we rank actually number 4. One of our other sites, which is ranking even better, has over 3 billion competing sites, and that's us at number 1. Getting back to how to use WordPress, it's a fairly simple program and you can do some fairly complicated things with it. You can have a very in-depth site like this one is, or you can have something far more simple like a normal blog or anything you really want. The whole idea with WordPress is it's designed to be user-friendly, and it's designed to make you responsible for your own website rather than having to rely on a designer. So let's get into the basics of how you use it, and the first thing you need to do is to log in. So you'll see our website is sitting there. We log in by simply going to the website itself and typing in the website name www.bsmart.com.au/WP and then log in. So once you've done that, you will be faced with this screen, and all you need to do is type in your username and your password. Remember, these are case sensitive, so if you use a capital letter here or here, you have to use it every single time, otherwise it won't log you in. Once you log in, you'll be greeted by the dashboard. Now the dashboard can be set up many different ways, and it's something everybody has a personal preference for. I like to see how many people are coming to look at our site, and we can see there's nearly 1,000 in the last month just visiting our little website. So on to posts and pages. These are where you add new items. Now a post and a page is essentially the same thing. The main difference being a page is for information that you probably want to keep for an extended period of time. So that may be something to do with your company details, or a product that stays in stock and is sold repeatedly over and over again over years and years and years. Whereas a post is a more transient thing, so it might be a monthly special, it might be a product that you've only just started to sell and you may not have it for very long. If you're operating a recipe website, you might put all your recipes in posts. So you can use either or, and both basically work the same way. So let's start with a post. If we want to add a new post, we can either click on the post button here and go to add new, or we can click here and just go to all posts, and then we can click on add new. Either way, doesn't make any difference, it's just a personal preference. This is probably a little slower. So when we get to a new post, first thing we need to do is give it a title. In the same way you would use Microsoft Word and put a title at the top, if you were writing a letter or something similar, you add a title here. So in this case, our title is going to be fairly simple. And then I hit enter. Now you'll notice that the system then saves it, and you'll notice two things have happened. We've got our title up here, how to use WordPress, and then down here we've got our website address for this particular page, which is bsmart.com.au, how to use WordPress. Now you can edit that and change it, but if you've done your research properly and these are the keywords you want to use, then the keywords should appear somewhere in this part of your URL. Now again, that's technical information, so don't get too worried by it at this stage. Just be aware that Google wants to know what this page is about, so it's going to check up the top here, it's going to check your title, and it's going to check what is at the end here. So that's a very important part. When we go to actually writing something in here, this becomes the body of our message. So if we were writing our article, we might go, what? So that becomes the heading for our body. Now to change the size of that, we actually may want to give it a heading title, and by simply clicking that button we can give it a title. Anytime we want to type normal sized print, we just use the paragraph sizing. So there's our first sentence. Now, there's a couple of things we can then do. We can come down here, and I've installed a plugin, which is an additional item you can add to WordPress that helps you do some of the hard work. So in this case, this plugin tells me whether what I've done up here is going to be good for Google or not good for Google. By typing in our focus keyword, and you'll notice that it brings us up a whole bunch of options. We're just going to select the first option, and then we're going to generate an SEO title. Now what that tells us is that our focus keyword, how to use WordPress, and remember a keyword can be a phrase as well as a single word, and more often than not nowadays it is a phrase. So what this tells us is, yes, that phrase is found in the article heading. Yes, we've remembered to put it in the title. Yes, we've remembered to put it in the URL, but no, it's not in the content. It's also not in the meta description, so we'll add that now. And we'll go back up here and save the draft. And you will see now that we've got it in the meta description. We still haven't entered it anywhere up here in the content, and Yoast is going to tell us that we've forgotten to do that. So it's very important that you do your on-page SEO, but if you've got a designer, it's more important that you get the content in there first and let your SEO expert perhaps work with you to teach you how to use focus keywords and on-page SEO. At this stage, I tell most of my clients just to simply save it as a draft. And then I'll come back through it after they've saved the draft, and I'll go to the post section, and we'll see we've got a draft up here, how to use WordPress. Now, anytime you want to edit an older article, you just go to the edit button, or if you're working on a draft, you just go back to editing the draft, and you can begin working again on the material that you want to add. So very, very simple. A page works in exactly the same way. You still have a title, you still need to make sure this link works properly, you still need to have your article title inside your body of your work, and you still need to have your focus keywords listed down through your article. But other than that, essentially the only difference you'll see is this says edit page rather than edit post. So that's all you need to do. Once you've saved your draft, of course, remember to log out, because unfortunately if you don't log out, you leave your site open for all sorts of nasties, including people. The simple way to log out is to simply click over here on the right hand side and then log out. And that's all for our recording for this version. In the next video recording, we're going to work a little bit more on how to write an article and how to write it for both people and Google so that your article gets found and you get ranked. Thank you.